How's everybody doing out there? So, welcome to day 4 of Corona Online School. So, today we're going to be talking about the Pythagorean Theorem, which you may or may not remember. This is probably one of the most famous theorems in all of geometry because it's a nice link between geometry and algebra both. So, it gets used in a lot of different classes. So if you look, part one's kind of a cool activity that you could actually do with your kids that uses GeoGebra, so it's a nice way to kind of discover what the formula is. So I'm going to let you kind of play around with that and see what you can come up with. It's pretty neat. It's a good fun activity. But instead, what we're going to do is just kind of start with the actual theorem itself. I'm going to help you to make sure you know how to use the theorem. So if we look at the theorem, it says given a right triangle that has legs of a length A and B, and its hypotenuse has length C. So in this case, it's a little hard to see, but so on here, there would be our A, this would be our B, and this is our C. So the idea is the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two legs. So in this case, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And again, this works just because we've got a right triangle. This isn't true if we don't have a right triangle or anything like that. So if we look at part 2, example 1, so we've got a nice right triangle with legs of 5, legs of 12, and the hypotenuse is x in this case. So if we wanted to solve for x, what we want to do is kind of put everything into the formula. So in this case, we'd get x squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. And it doesn't matter which one you call A, which one you call B. You'll get the same answer regardless of which way you do it. The only one that matters is the hypotenuse is always the side that's across from the right angle. So that's the only one that really makes a difference. A and B can flip-flopped and you'll get the same answer. So in this case, what we have to do is first, take 12 squared, which is 144, plus 5 squared, which is 25. So in this case, we get x squared equals 169. And then if we square root both sides, luckily in this case, 169 is a perfect square. If it's not, you can either leave it in the radical form or you can type it in the calculator and get a decimal answer. So in this case, we get a nice perfect square, so we get x equals 13. So you probably remember if you take the square root, you're supposed to do like a plus or minus, but in this case, since we're talking about a distance, we're never going to worry about the minus part, so don't worry about that. We're always looking for just the positive answer. So I'm going to leave 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and the area ones for you guys to work on. So you guys work on those, and I'm going to come back in a second with another video to talk about the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So work on those real quick, and then watch the next video. I'll see you in a little bit.